tonight's special guest, Megclectic. Y'all know Meg. If you don't know Meg, you'll know tonight.
Yeah. You don't know where I live?
I can't keep up with all y'all.
You're in the snow over there?
I'm in the snow in Iowa.
Iowa, not Idaho.
This is starting off great. Wanted to also mention I did not get the note about the beanie, or I would have participated. So thanks for making me feel included and loved in this moment.
Hang on one second. What boots you? You want to go grab one?
No, I'm fine.
You're actually in the coldest place and you don't have a beanie.
I have a couple, but I'm not wearing them in the house.
I'm trying not to turn my heat on. So it's a little chilly, but you know.
Yeah, it's 60. We have it set at 65 in here, which can get a little cool. So
I think
sweaters and socks.
Chad just didn't comb his hair. That's why he threw on a beanie.
Hey, man, you didn't have to bring me out like that. You didn't have to bring me out like that. Appreciate the gifts, y'all. Appreciate the gifts. Thank y'all for the likes. Y'all keep y'all get the 10K. Yeah, man, I didn't brush my hair. I didn't slick it back tonight. I ran out of mousse, bro. There's a certain mousse I like to buy. It's out of it's one that expired, not expired. What was it called? Whenever
Like discontinued?
Discontinued like 5 years ago, and they're hard to find under like $80. So every now and then I have to let my hair go wild. we need Dilligaf t-shirts.
Hey, if there's enough of a demand.
Yes, we do.
Well, Meg, we appreciate you coming in. We know you're not a late nighter too much. So
what are you trying to say? It's only 8 o'clock.
Well, you know, we get on. Wow, look at that.
Thank you for the puppy butt.
Shake your bum bun. Shake your bum bun.
No, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys asked me. This is cool.
Yeah, I want to say thanks also. And if you guys don't know Meg, please make sure you guys are following Meg. Meg is an awesome reseller here from the TikTok community. She is a part-time reseller, but she does amazing. She does like full-time resale work, and she kills it. And we're happy that you're here, Meg. If you want to start us off with introducing yourself and telling us how you got started.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Meg. Scott, I am Meg. Not to be confused with these two handsome gentlemen. What can I tell you? Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I was trying to think about what kind of questions you'd probably ask me, and this, of course, is one of them. But I really think that I kind of figured out some of this flipping back when I was a teenager. And I remember this. I'm going to not tell long stories, hopefully, because I can tend to gab. But I remember sitting and flipping through books at the library that were like evaluation guides, right? You know, way before the internet, way before, and, you know, just going to flea markets and garage sales and things like that. And figuring out that, oh, this is only $1 at this garage sale, which was a lot of money back then, by the way. But I know this would cost me this much in the store. But I would say officially, I mean, I've been on eBay since 98. So kind of an early adopter of that. And yes, I was buying and selling. So just not, you know, obviously not to the degree I am now, but that was the wild, wild west back then on eBay. So that's the origin story, I guess. It's not super exciting, but yeah, just a super long time ago. I think my parents probably were an influence there as well. My dad always like bought and traded. Actually, he liked pew-pews. And so he would trade with other pew-pew people. And so, you know, just seeing that, I probably picked up on it there. So
nice.
Nice. And we do have Duckies tonight in the chat. Duckies, you're here, right? Oh, yeah, she was the first one. AZ's tried to say you wasn't, Duckies. I see you. I saw you. Anyway, so if the chat wants to go ahead and start asking questions while AZ get it kind of started, Duckies will be sending us through chat. So, Meg, you don't really have to focus too much on the chat's questions because we'll eventually get to them. But, I mean, if you see one you want to go ahead and answer, that's fine also. So,
okay.
Jim, what's this live about, man?
Smart ass.
Where you been, brother? Where you been?
He's playing. I always ask him that every day when I come into his lives. What is this every time?
Courtney did say that she's staying up late for us.
No. Thank you, Courtney.
Courtney.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Don't look at us.
Let's start off by what do you mostly sell for those who don't know you too much?
Mostly vintage clothing. That has not always been the case, believe it or not. But that is, hey, Candace. Candace is a part of the problem. I'm just kidding. But she's also a vintage clothing seller. So I've known Candace for several years. But I would say, yeah, about 6 years ago, my entire inventory of what, like the types of products I was looking for to sell completely changed. I had never done clothing before 6 years ago, not one stitch. And now that's probably 90% of what I pick up. So that's heavy for me, and mostly on the women's vintage in particular.
You know, I think I started probably just a few years back with clothing because I hopped on YouTube and that's where I was like, dang, people buying used clothing. Because I used to be just sports cards and just hard goods, anything collectible, right? That was obvious. But then I watched Rally Roots, and that was my first people who watched as far as selling clothing. I'm like, whoa, okay, it's time to learn. Because there's so many clothes out everywhere you go. There's clothes, so it's, you know, it's good. If it's not a bread and butter, it can be your main thing also. So
yeah, and say for me, like I hated clothing in the beginning, just like measuring and like the pictures. It was just, but I did realize that there was especially when I came onto TikTok, like I got to meet K-Way and Chris at Peak and how they were flipping clothes and like Reisner, you know, she finds amazing like bolos. So that's what got me like into clothing, back into clothing.
Yeah, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of funny how that happened because I had signed up for an eBay sponsored reseller event in Kansas City, like about 6 years ago. That's why I peg it that way. And there was also a fairly large YouTube reseller that I used to follow who was attending that event as a speaker, but was also going to hold a class that, yes, I paid for. Don't pay. Forget that happened. Let's just forget about that. But I went to this thrift store class with this person and we went around to all the different departments and such. So I know Candace, she knows who this is. And so anyway, after that though, that's when I started to realize, okay, there's stuff in all the sections of the thrift store, not just the ones I was going to, because I was skipping the clothing. So that truly is kind of what started the turn for me from exclusively hard goods to now clothing and moving online completely as well, because I was not. I still was doing some stuff on eBay, but most of my stuff was in an antique mall in a booth that I had for about 8 years. So yeah, lots of that kind of stuff.
sweet.
Yeah, and you mentioned you started on eBay a while back. Like what are some things for people that don't know or people that are new to eBay? Like what are some things that you remember from back then besides, you know, like receiving checks and how was eBay back then?
It was so bare bones. Some of the stuff I remember is that you didn't even have to have a picture of your item necessarily. And I don't think there was such a thing as returns, for heaven's sakes. There was, like you say, no PayPal. Everything was through the mail. Lots of trust was involved. Lots of scamming, but there was no way to really read about it because, again, the internet wasn't at all, of course, what it is today. So accessing resources to understand what was happening to resellers or how they were dealing with these problems, it wasn't available. So I think that's one of the big differences that, of course, now we have this right here and we all connect with each other. There are forums, there are, eBay's FAQs and all of that kind of stuff as well has just, expanded exponentially over that time. But I specifically remember having a little 3-ring binder that I bought, and there was one for buying stuff on eBay and one for selling stuff on eBay. And I would go through and handwrite each item that I sold, and then I would bring back from the post office. You had to fill out a little paper sheet for tracking if you wanted tracking, because it wasn't automatic and you had to pay extra. And then I would take tape and tape it on each page so that I would know what my tracking number was. And you had to like email the person and say, here's your tracking number, and type it all in. I mean, it was kind of crazy. Yeah.
But at the same time, if you think about it, during those times, it was so new and like advanced. Just like you're selling stuff to all these people that can have eyes on it. It's like, wow, my stuff could really sell. It could go to another state. It's like, it was crazy. So, but some turnaround times might be 3 or 4 weeks, just because you have to wait on a check to clear. I've talked about that before. It was wild times.
I had an international sale early on in my eBay career, and that was frightening, because you just go to the post office and you're at that point and you're like, this is what I need to mail, and I have no idea how to do it, but here's the address. Because it was like, fill out this form and fill out, so today going, click the button and bzz, out comes the label, done. So thank goodness for that.
Yeah. I've heard stories also about people talking about, now we all telling each other bolos and stuff. Back in the day, you could go to a garage sale and find something for a few dollars and easily get $100, $200 for it. And because, there just wasn't out there like that. So
right.
One thing is not rare now might have been rare then, just because it's just, you're seeing a lot more of it.
Well, and there were no solds. Like you didn't have any way to look and see what things sold for. Even just like, I remember going to an auction and then going home and getting on my computer, which wasn't a laptop, of course. You didn't have smartphones at all. So it was like, it was challenging, but I don't know, maybe it made me stronger. That it's like just not having that in my hand at the time, it didn't stop me, it just meant you had to maybe take more risks or just learn, you just had to learn more and get more knowledgeable about it. So.
Right. So appreciate for the live goal, April. Thank you so much. So I guess a question would be, just talk, if you don't mind talking about it, just for a quick minute, because I know you can go into a whole in-depth thing about it. I know you do. You use another. What is it called? Where you send your stuff off?
A virtual assistant.
Yeah. So you use a virtual assistant. If you don't mind, just a brief thing about that. If you don't mind talking about.
Yep, I can be brief. So a couple years ago, I started using a virtual assistant to make my listings for me. Because I found that I didn't want to spend the time doing that part, and I wanted to spend more time shopping. So let's be real. I just knew I didn't have time as a part-time reseller working a full-time job to do all of those things. That's how it started a couple of years ago. And now I also at times will just send them my merchandise and they will do the whole thing for me. Take the photos, make the listings, store it for me. They pay for the packaging to then ship it out when it sells. And that has been a huge lift, like off of my shoulders and off of my mind. Because honestly, I don't think I realized I was walking into that eBay room, as I call it, which is in the next room. And that money mountain, while we joke about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm adding to the money mountain today. It was really taxing on my mind. And I know it was creating like this underlying just anxiety, and I'm never going to get there. And why do I keep buying stuff? And I'm never going to get it sold. And, just kind of this negative thought circle, I just kept going around. So I bit the bullet spent some money, invested in my business and in my mental health. Honestly, like that's not just a catchphrase for it. It was really pulling me down. And then, yeah, so I just sent all that off. So that was probably longer than you wanted me to talk about it, but that's part of the reason why, that it wasn't just like, oh, I just don't feel like doing it. It's no, I needed that stuff like out of sight and out of mind, but still something that can make me a profit in the long run. So.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I bet that felt good, especially seeing those sales come in and them help you get that taken care of. Awesome.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Thank you. I've never seen that before.
Notice that he's late, but he's here now.
Aw, thank you.
I think that was from Joey.
I think it was. Oh, lightning bolts. Thank you, Scott. It was cool.
We do have an important question from Gem Pickers. He wants to know, will your husband let me jump out of his plane?
The answer to that is no. And why would anyone want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I don't understand it. It has doors. Just ride till you get where you're going. No, neither of us have interest in doing that.
So I know you're a part-time reseller. Are you thinking of eventually going full-time, or do you like the way it is now?
I would. What is that adorable little thing? Oh, it's so cute. You're going to make me forget the question. No. Distraction. We all have a little bit of that going, right? Yeah, that was super cute. I've never seen that before. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I've been saying that for years. I know it's tough. Right now, I don't think is a great time for me to consider that. I mean, we're not that far off from like having the mortgage paid off. You know what I mean? And so it's like just knowing that I have that steady income is kind of overshadowing some of that right now. But that being said, we're switching over to my husband's insurance because that's always a big thing, right? We all have to have, well, you don't have to have it, but boy, it sure comes in handy if something comes up. So health insurance is switching to his employer for 2025 instead of my employer. And I've always felt like that was a bit of an obstacle for me. You know, it's like, hey, I got to have the insurance. So I don't know. It won't be 2025 because I think that with just, well, quite honestly, none of us really know what's going to happen in the, with the election year. It doesn't matter who won it. I would still be saying that. So I don't want that to become what this is about. But I just want to be very tactical, as many of you have already been. So, yeah. So we're going to hang on for a while, see how it goes.
Okay.
You want to talk about your reseller poll there behind you?
I purposely moved it over here so that it would be in the background for this. It's going around and around. This is my reseller poll. You see, there are still lots of open spaces here, but we have some mementos from different resellers, mostly like their stickers. Here's one that DW made of Joey. I can't read that. That was slightly inappropriate. Oops, and here goes Barbie. She was falling. Here's Gem Pickers. So yeah, I've asked if any of you out there have a sticker or some other memento. You can't see all the way to the top, but there's like a Snickers wrapper up here. I taped on a Post-it note that Arizona sent me once with something that I had purchased from him. So there's all kinds of things on here. So if anybody out there has a sticker they want to send or something else and you're a reseller, I'll put it right on there.
What is that? Oh my God.
Potato in Paris.
What is going on?
That was so cute. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Big E.
I forgot to send you one in your package. I meant to send you a sticker.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's okay. You can just let me know you want to send me one. I'll send you my address.
Okay.
I'll send you my. Hey, Vanessa.
So you are getting a bunch of awesome comments in the chat. Big E says, Meg, you're such a great speaker. Everybody loves you. And
Thank you, guys. You guys you're too nice, actually. Not everybody loves me. I get trolls once in a while. The people that matter love me.
yeah, so why don't we talk about that? Because I know, I love watching your videos, and I love like commenting on people that try to hate on your videos. Those are definitely interesting. What can you tell us about that?
I don't even know where that came from. Although obviously it's part of who I am, because I look back at my original videos and they are like boring, and I'm like, I don't know. I was maybe trying to find myself. But yeah, I utilize sarcasm and humor a lot in my life. Maybe it's because I've been in middle management for like 20 years. I'm not going to say. So, you know, being in that kind of role, I don't know, maybe it prepared me for dealing with trolls, because you have to just sometimes just let it sit, you know, and pan face when you respond to people, even if they've said something to your face that's absolutely absurd. So I don't know if that's kind of where that came from, but I'm a little surprised by it too, honestly. So, because people in my personal life, like at my job, that have found my TikTok account are like, I didn't know that you cussed. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So just things like that, you know. I mean, my mom follows me on here, my sister does, you know, and some other people, and they expected it, but others were just as surprised maybe as I was. So,
Yeah,
but they're fun. I like the trolls. They give me opportunity to make more content, which sometimes actually does have something useful in it for resellers, but sometimes it's just me being sassy.
I don't think nobody's found mine yet from work. I hope not.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one good person to clap back.
Yeah. So thank y'all everybody for getting us over 15K. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you.
We got there really quick. Thank y'all all for the gift, showing our host some special love tonight. She's well deserving. We've already got a bunch of questions. I guess we can start getting into those, and you know, if we got any in between. Let's start with Queen says, did you envision thrifting as a hobby or career, and did it morph into other?
Definitely just a hobby at first. So I'm not even sure that the concept of reselling being an actual job was something that occurred to me, you know, many years ago. So it's always been about the thrill of the hunt, though. So that never goes away. That never ever, you all live it 24/7, just like I do. That's always there. So yeah, I don't know if I really answered the question, but yeah, I mean, at some point it would be awesome to be a career. I think when I retire, for sure, it'll be something to, oh my, look at that. Ooh, blue. Thank you. I don't know if that went to me or someone else, but that was really cool. Oh, John. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Oh, this one cracks me up every time. So yeah, I know, like when I retire, I expect to do this as a way to bridge the gap, you know, between retiring and having other benefits, but I don't know. Yeah, definitely started out as a hobby. Angry cowboy.
Thanks, Joey. Thank y'all for the gifts.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I definitely love the hunt. Cruising Nana Tracy wants to know, do you ever want to go full time? So I think we answered that one. Queen also wants to know, what wouldn't you ever resell?
My gut reaction was nothing. You know, if I had unlimited space and ways to transport things. I mean,
I thought you were going to say Christmas bibs.
Christmas bibs.
Used Christmas bibs.
Oh, I mean, there's stuff that I am just not that interested in that I wouldn't gravitate towards. Like, I mean, there's categories of stuff today that I just don't care about, like baby clothes and, stuff like that I just don't care about. It's not that I wouldn't ever do it, but I don't like that stuff. So I'm an emotional buyer. I buy stuff I like. But no, I'd flip cars or whatever if that was in the budget.
Yeah.
It's not.
All right. Thank you for that. Tracy, how did you settle on your inventory, small business for tracking taxes, etc.? How did you settle on your inventory, small business for tracking taxes, etc.?
I'm not sure if that question is asking about like how I keep track.
Yeah, that's probably what she means. Like, how do you keep track of inventory?
Okay, yeah, I use software called it's My Reseller Genie is the company that I subscribe to, and I have for a couple of years or so now. And it's specifically made. Oh, look at the bear! Ooh. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't use. I used to use a spreadsheet, but then when I found My Reseller Genie, it's been a godsend, honestly. And it's a husband and wife that came up with it, so I like that aspect as well. Another small business supporting them instead of Microsoft Excel. No shade there, but and she is a reseller, and he's like an accountant guy. So it was like the perfect match that she knew there wasn't software out there that specifically addressed us, the type of things that we do. And the types of information that we need to store. There were things that were close, but it didn't quite fit. So they created this specifically for resellers, and it blows my mind everything that it could do. I don't even use all the features, but it's amazing. Sorry, I was reading the comments now, but I don't think that there's a discount code. But I may have a link to them in my bio if you just want to check out their stuff. They got a ton of stuff on YouTube. But that has changed my life, and I'm way more organized than I ever have been. So I do not freak out at tax time.
I need to go back and check them out because I actually signed up for whenever. I used to use GoDaddy bookkeeping, and it was amazing. And then for some reason, they just stopped it. And and I signed up for them, and I was just. I think maybe whenever they first started, it was just stuff they had to work through, and it didn't grasp. I didn't grasp it, I guess, and I need to go back to it. So,
I swear by it. It works great for me in the way that I organize things, and not near the frustration at tax time.
So we have a question from April. She wants to know, what's the best advice you would give a new reseller that found this TikTok community?
Okay, I'm trying to come up with a genuine answer and not a smarty pants answer, because we all know that's my go-to.
What? It's Christmas time. Look, man, you missed Christmas.
Oh, that was so cool. Thank you, you guys. That's awesome. Be prepared. Yeah. I think, I guess it just depends on the person's personality, but because I actually kind of like to sit back and just watch for a while and see how people interact with each other and figure out which people, are more in line with your philosophies and that sort of thing. But also you don't want to leave out the people that might have a different philosophy that you might learn something from. So I'm going in a circle here. But for this community, just be chill. And know that everything comes from a place of fun and good intentions. And that will get you a lot further because we're all human beings, right? And sometimes we make mistakes, but it's a lot easier if you just assume good intentions. And maybe that's even just in life. But we're getting a little deep here. Ooh, didn't know we were going to go there, but yeah.
Yeah. And please be yourself. You know, you don't have to
Yeah.
pretend to be.
Yes. Yes. Be yourself. Agree. Big one.
John saying, read.
I was going to say something,
Go
but I caught myself.
What is John up to? I don't even want to know.
So we have 2 comments. I'm curious what makes your internet better than Gem Pickers, says Uncle Gem Pickers.
Went there. I can't believe it.
I literally just spit that water all over the place.
Damn.
Oh my God. Oh my God. My husband's going to be like, what are you doing up there? Oh, I'm just, okay, it's fine. Everything is fine. I don't know. That was great.
You got a wet nose now.
I do.
The nostrils are wet.
Okay.
That was a good one.
I'm ready for the next one. Okay.
All right,
John wants you to name names.
Name names? What? Not what? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
Look at that. It's a trash panda.
Whoa.
Wow. That was awesome. Who sent that? I don't even know.
John. And then Vanessa sent in friendship references. Yep.
Thank you. Oh, wow. You guys are too much, honestly.
All right, Courtney wants to know, how do you think what you've learned reselling helps you in your full-time job?
Ooh.
Or is it the opposite?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the opposite.
Ooh, of course.
This is a tough question because the first thing I think of is that people bring me empty boxes at work, but that's not exactly related to my job. But you know what? Okay. So what I would say is that there are some people that I work with, and one in particular who actually consigned his childhood Star Wars collection to me a few years ago. And I know that because of that experience with each other, because of my expertise in selling on eBay, we have a different relationship now. Like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, we have that thing now at work that is different. Nobody else has that piece of that relationship at work with him, or, you know, that he has with me. So it's kind of, I don't know if it's kind of a tangent a little bit, but it created a whole different dynamic for us as people that work together on projects and such. So, and he'll check in with me. He'll come over to my desk if I'm in the office and be like, how's eBay going? You know? And so, yeah, we have a different friendship and relationship now. So it's cool.
So that helped with your rapport, I guess. That's pretty cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with the dragon?
Open your mouth. See, the fire comes out.
No, you crazy, boy.
That is so funny.
Thank you. Gifts are crazy.
Oh.
Oh, there it goes. You next, Lazy. Where's it at? It's on the thing. Where's it go? Where's it at?
That's so funny.
Oh my God, it sent, but it didn't show it.
Yeah, it didn't come up.
Oh my God, there it goes. It's late. Oh wow.
It's funny when it goes away and we're still going like we're so vicious.
Yeah, I remember like people at work when I would tell them about like reselling and what I would do, they would just be so amazed at like how someone can actually make a living from reselling. You know, they couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally foreign to them. Mm-hmm.
All right, Dory was curious. Did you have a pilot's license as well?
I do not have a pilot's license. I've thought at times that I should, sounds weird, I should probably at least learn how to land, because it's usually just the two of us. But no, I don't. Sometimes I feel like I'm interested in it, and other times I'm like, nah, whatever. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So
I think y'all at least need to have that talk though. Like, how do I land just in case?
I know, and I watch. I mean, I'm like, okay, what are you doing over there? So I don't know. I like to think that maybe I could do it, but I'm sure it would not go well. So let's just not put ourselves in that position.
Let's just not.
No, let's just not do that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay, Jam wants to know, do you think you make profit on your VA?
Ooh, the butterflies.
That made me think of who Snow White or whoever it is that walks through the forest and has all the butterflies. Thank you. Very cute. Yes, I do. And I'm going to tell you why. And I know I mentioned this in a live earlier today. I don't count that fee on every item that I send them. I look at that money that I spend as one big bucket of money. Mm-hmm. So in 2024, if I spend $5,000, just made up number, on VA services, what has that freed me up from to do other things for my reselling business? So I look at it as a way to accelerate my business and have time to do the things that I want to spend more time on and not the things that suck. So that's, yeah.
I like that.
Tina, can you read Tina's comment? That's my sister.
She definitely has support from her family. We love hearing her stories. Tina, thank y'all for sharing Meg with us, because we all love Meg too.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. We do love Meg.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people focus a lot, even with the expenses and just in general buying items and flipping them. I think sometimes you kind of got to get away. It depends though. It's all very, sometimes you just need to look at your overall numbers. I know you want to look at your individual items and stuff, but sometimes you kind of got to look past that. Just look at the bottom line sometimes. But yeah, I like how you answered that.
Yeah, this will be the first year of having more intense VA involvement. So it'll be good for me at the end of this year to have, a really solid picture of what that's truly done down to the dollars and cents. So
I have a question. What are some other things that you'd like to, say you were to go full time, what are some other things that you want to do? Do you see yourself doing estate sales, or what does the future look like for Meg?
It would be, yeah, I'm trying to think about how that would change. I would definitely have to source differently, and make some adjustments in ROIs, but I know that's not really quite what you're asking. This is how I look around when I'm thinking. This is the thinking look. Man, what's the dream, right? I think it would be really awesome. What would be really great would be not to mimic Sales by Helen, but I love the idea of having my own place. I mean, that takes a long time, right? To build up the clientele and build up the awareness and the reputation. So yeah, it's is there a way to do that more quickly so that you can even have your own, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but your own avenue to people. And that's one thing that would have to change, a lot more networking, because I do very little of that now. And I think I think those people that have been really successful in this, that are out a bit more, they're doing that. I know you today, Arizona, you mentioned that you made a connection with someone, and that's way more of what I would need to do in order to make that happen. So I don't, yeah, I know I didn't really specifically answer that question, but I just know some of the things that I would have to do differently to even get that next step towards a bit more like autonomy, if that's the right word, you know, and feel a little more free to do whatever I want with it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, there's some restrictions with the things that we do now, right? Within the platforms and those sorts of things. So, yeah.
And there's so many ways you can step your game up, like this, as far as you can up your volume coming in, like you outsource, there's so many ways to you just got to really put a good plan in for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like slowly chip away, just like how you mentioned, you know, and I learned that from Chad, you know, making connections with people, networking. That's why I love this community, because we learn from each other and ways on how we can grow.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways, right? Yeah. Not one linear path. So it's cool.
Yeah. All right, what do we got? Who do we got a question from? What is your top 3 favorite brands to find? That's from Joey.
Ooh. Well, there's brands that I haven't found that would be great. But the stuff I find right now, I would say I like finding see, they're gonna be like vintage brands, most likely. But I do like finding, believe it or not, polo, but they have to be really special. I'm kind of picky when it comes to that brand. I know there's bread and butter out there, but I mean, I found a polo with the teddy bear sweater. It was vintage a few years ago at the same Goodwill where I found the Biggie Levi's. And so that kind of stuff, when that blows your mind, when you have one of those, you're just always looking for that brand again, right? With those specific details. So that's always good. I'm trying to think on the women's side. So much of what I pick up, though, is based on style, more so than brand. Gunny Sacks. Gunny Sacks would be a brand that I would always pick up dresses, and it could be the Jessica McClintock or Gunny Sacks. That's always good. Maybe let me think of one more. I'd be picking up Gold Label Victoria's Secret. So, I mean, that stuff, the vintage stuff, it can do very well also. So I would always pick those up.
God, I learned so much from that, just from that last house I picked. It was so much, just the styles, and not even really the brand. It was just the style and vintage. Oh my Lord, it was crazy.
I was so sad I missed the sequins. I'm still salty that I was not there. I'll salty it myself.
Found a couple more, so next time.
The old chef wants to know, any chance Agatha and little Jay would find love in the future together?
I don't know. You'll have to. Where'd she go? Oh God, she fell. You'll have to ask her.
Oh.
Y'all knew she was going to show up, right?
Make sure you follow who?
Agnes, Dillagaff Reselling. Dillagaff Reselling. Right here. She needs a few followers. We'll put her back up here with her teammates. There we go. Dillagaff Staffing right here.
Yeah. Somebody dropped that in the chat, so make sure everybody can follow.
Yeah. Dillagaff in all caps. Dillagaff Reselling, parentheses, Agnes.
Well, we're almost at 30,000 likes. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
I think
Nice.
30K is the most I've personally had on us hosting live, so that'd be pretty amazing to surpass that. Thank y'all.
All right. Uncle Jem says, would you say that your awesome clapback videos are a great way to unload and vent?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's funny though, because sometimes, actually most of the time, it's one take. So it's just, so that may be very indicative of the fact that I'm like, stuff's bubbling up and it may not, I'm usually not even mad. It's just funny to me in a way. So yeah, it's just pretty spontaneous. And I just blurt things out without thinking about it really ahead of time. And then I just hit publish. So yeah. And then I've told Vanessa before, as soon as I'm done making one of those and hit publish, I out loud start laughing and I say to myself, oh my God, that was so stupid. Every single time. I do. Yeah. Ooh, 30K.
Thank y'all so much.
Good job.
Appreciate that.
Good job, guys.
Jesse had asked, I'm not sure, I don't know how much you've touched a little bit. I'm not sure if you exactly. He said, what is the overhead of the VA and how does that lower your potential profit? Which you kind of went on that. So
Yeah, and if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to their e-commerce listers is who it is, and it'll take you to their site. And you can kind of see some of the breakdown of the different services they provide. So there's different tiers.
right. I love these videos, Meg. I love those videos, Meg.
Thank you.
Book Hustler.
When I was crawling on the floor, yeah, that was, I don't know where that idea came from. Stupid. It was so stupid.
That's what's so great. I mean,
But it was so funny. It was just so like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks.
So once you're done making that video, do you just like post it right away? Do you, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go and, got to add the captions or whatever and put some silly thing at the top for a title. But then I'm like, all right, let's just publish this and see what happens.
I mean, you do laugh at yourself though, right? You're like,
yes. All the time. Oh, I do. I say, oh, that's so stupid. And I'm like, but it's really kind of funny.
oh yeah, those are the best.
As long as if somebody else laughs, if one person laughs, I'm like, mission accomplished. Somebody else had a moment that maybe they were able to laugh. Maybe that was their only laugh of the day, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think you make us all laugh, so.
Yeah.
All right, Freddie says, what was your biggest reselling mistake or lesson learned?
Ooh, wow. Well, you think about the bad buys, right? That's that's the natural thing we go to. And I'm trying to think if there was something besides that, because we all have those stories. But a really bad buy that I would not suggest is, and y'all know this now, right? But at the time, I went and bought out this older couple's entire Hummel collection. And they had two of everything because he was in the collector's club and she was in the collector's club. And they had the original boxes and, I negotiated with the family and all that. Oh my Lord, the amount of time it took to do all of those and to research them. And anyway, point being, bleh. Yes, there are some that can be worth a lot of money. Most of them are not. So not being educated enough in that moment ahead of time was definitely the big mistake. So, boo. But I learned from it and I won't do it again. So in that respect, progress.
Thrift Shop Hustler, what's up? Tina, what is your biggest goal for 2025?
I am going to increase my ROI or my average sales price. That'd probably be, both of them are important, but I need to increase my average sales price like across the board by like 10%. So that means I'll have to source differently. because some of the stuff I'm buying right now would be below that. So it's just setting that new goal for myself. And then the hardest part is sticking to it. Because you see that thing and you're like, oh man, I could get $17 for that.
Right.
For me, I can't be doing the $17 items. That's just the way I have things set up and the amount of time that I can commit to this. I have to accept that that's just not going to work for me. So I don't want to have a 2,000 item store, which is what I have now. I want it to be way lower because I've got better stuff and I'm spending less time. You know, it needs to turn faster, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So all of that's pretty big actually. So it's a big bite to take. But if I'm ever going to really be in a spot where I could legitimately say, hey, I'm ready to go full time, that's the kind of stuff I'm going to have to change. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Good answer. Good answer, Meg. Thanks.
Good answer. Good answer.
Family Feud. Good answer. Ding, ding.
So Candace wants to know, what's one holy grail you haven't found yet?
Coogee.
Oh,
No Coogee sweaters. I have found other items by that brand, but I have not found a Coogee, textured sweater yet. And the day it happens, you are all going to know about it in a flash, I swear. So we're going to do it. 2025 is the year of the Coogee.
I know. I was so excited because I thought I had found one recently. And I was like, because just the look of it, right away, as soon as you see the sleeve on the rack, you're like, and it still ended up selling. I sold it for like $70.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you guys are picking those up, guys. The lookalikes, the Coogee lookalikes, they still sell good.
You know me, I'm picking up all those sweaters. It doesn't matter what brand it is. I have a sweater problem.
I love finding sweaters, like the old man sweaters, the grandpa sweaters, the old golf sweaters, all that stuff.
I just sent one out today, a V-neck grandpa vintage sweater. So yeah, they sell all the time for me.
Yeah, a lot of people leave them, and I just come get them. $1, yeah, sure. $1 into 20, 25, 30, 40, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all, if y'all got any more questions for Meg, we're getting close. So, y'all bring them in. If you got any, I do want to ask, what is if you don't mind sharing, what is your biggest flip to date?
On like a percentage basis, the biggest flip was one of my first. I'm sorry, I have to give a little context because to me that makes it even more cool. I was like in my early 20s, so I didn't have a lot of money. That's the reason I mentioned that. I mean, not that I have a ton now, but I'm just saying, And I went to a live auction with my parents and I spent $75 on a box of toys. There were 4 dolls in there and they were Peanuts dolls, Lucy and Snoopy and whoever else. And they were from the 60s and they were in the original packaging. And they were made by a company called Hungerford. I have no idea what they're worth today. I haven't looked in years. So go look them up if you want. Hungerford Peanuts. And they're these little plastic dolls. And I put them on eBay, which was only an auction site then. There was no buy it now. And my family and I really enjoyed watching those bids go and go and go. So I spent $75 and that set of 4 dolls sold for $1,075. And this would have been back in 98, 99. So I don't know what that would be today, but let's just say that even now that would be a ton of money to me on a $75 investment. And I didn't know. That was a huge risk that I took because $75 was also a lot of money. And so it was a huge risk and I didn't really know what I was getting into. And it turned out to be amazing. And that is probably the moment that things became even more real for me. So for me, that transaction actually has a lot more meaning than just the money that was made from it. I think it was a big kick in the butt to say, okay, let's do this again.
Yeah, that's a nice flip.
Oh, Bailey, $700 to $800 for one new. Wow.
That's what when things escalated.
It did escalate quickly.
So we do want to thank everybody. Look, we got 35,000 likes. Make sure if you guys are new here and you're not following Meg, make sure you guys follow Meg. Meg, are you the same name on all platforms? What platforms are you on?
Oh, other social medias. I mean, I'm on IG with the same name, but I really don't have a lot of activity there. This is really my primary place that you can find me, but I've got some links in my bio of other places that you can find me and my merch. It's not really merch. I don't know why I said that. It sounded really dorky. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, hit me up here if you ever have questions. I'm happy to help out, even though I'm a bit of a smarty pants. I actually do know a few things, so happy to share it.
And if you'd like to maybe just close this out, because I know we don't have any other questions, but if you just can give us some encouragement, somebody who's new or somebody who's been here, what's something encouraging that you can say to someone who's starting in the resale business?
Yeah, I'm happy to say that, asking questions, like, I know sometimes it can be scary and seem overwhelming when you see people, not just talking about myself, because I like to think I'm a little more humble than that. But when people have been doing it for 26 years, it might be like, whoa. Yeah, well, we've been through a lot. So, but we had to ask a lot of questions and we had to fail and we had to make mistakes sometimes. And we still do. So anybody that looks like they're polished and showing all the glory of it, it's okay if you're experiencing those things that aren't glorious, because we have all been through that and are still experiencing it. So just know that we're all in the same boat. And I guess the one other piece is comparison. It's just it never ends well. I think there's a saying, it reduces your joy or something along those lines. And that's true. So all three of us in this live, we all have very different ways of running our businesses. I wouldn't spend 3 seconds comparing myself, my numbers, my sales, nope. I do it the way I do it to make me happy and meet my personal goals, which are very different from these two guys. So do it your way. Thief of joy. Thank you. That's what it is. And just don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions, because these really are great guys here. And there's a ton of other people in the chat that would be happy to spend half an hour talking to you about something. So don't ever feel like you're, busting in on anybody's time.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I just want to say thanks again, Meg, for coming.
Thank you for inviting.
It means a lot whenever we can ask someone and they're willing to hop on here, and it just spreads to the community and just shows that we're all willing to help one another, and hopefully we can all grow together. And I always try to encourage new people that's scared a little nervous to get on live. Please, this is I always feel that this is a safe place to hop on, even though we get a little wild sometimes. But it really is a safe place to get on here and try to get past your jitters, and we'll make you feel welcome as much as we can. Just like I said, just be yourself. We're welcoming, and yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you once again, Meg, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for next week, guys. We've got Joey. Next week will be our last show for the year. So we're really excited. Joey's going to close us off for the year. And I hope you guys have an awesome night. I don't know if you want to hang out, Meg. I know it's kind of late. Are you staying on, Jeff?
But first, and then we're starting the new year off with.
Yes. So John is actually starting off 2025. So we're super excited. We have some other awesome resellers that are going to be coming on 2025. So stay tuned for that, guys.
Yes, I'll stay on for a little bit. I just, anybody wants to hop in, and also y'all please make sure y'all click on either one of our links to go follow us on YouTube. We're gonna get these videos up as soon as we can. We got them trickling in. We're gonna have shorts. We're gonna put on TikTok and YouTube. we've surpassed 50 followers. If you could go give us a follow, we're gonna try to start going live from there. Also, we're gonna try to figure it out. So we appreciate all the love. If you can go in there and just hit likes, and you know, if you're not doing nothing, if you missed any of these live, eventually they'll be up, so y'all can go watch them. And just hit that like button, give us a follow. You know, if you're out, you know, if you're just hanging out doing some work, just give us some watch time. We appreciate that.
Sweet. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna go decompress. I need that decompress hour before bed.
Yes.
So good to see you all. Love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.